Good evening. Thank you for joining us on the War Diary. On the 383rd day of the war, here are the main highlights of the day at 7 p.m. Beirut time. We begin with the situation in Lebanon. Hezbollah confirmed Wednesday the killing of Hezbollah's leader, likely successor Hashem Safieddin, in an Israeli strike. In the south, 4 raids targeted Tyre after the Israeli army threatened to bomb it. Additionally, the Israeli army targeted several areas, including Burj al-Muluk, causing a fire near houses and several cars parked there catching fire, with the civil defense unable to reach the area due to the ongoing shelling. Simultaneously, several villages, including the outskirts of Dur, Siatir, Kfar Rimmeen, Ain Biswar, Arnoun, Aita Shab, Ramya and Midfan were targeted, resulting in 2 killed. Additionally, 2 were injured in a raid that targeted a motorcycle in the town of Sarbin. In Sarbin, Israeli raids killed 5 people. Violent clashes erupted at the Taiba Rab al-Thalathin Adaisit triangle between Hezbollah and the Israeli army, which is trying to invade Lebanese territory while Israeli artillery is shelling the aforementioned triangle. In Bekaa, raids targeted several towns as well, including the town of Hazin, Shmistar and Baalbek and Dalabaya. Israeli warplanes raided the Al-Faida area, targeting a hangar at 4 a.m. In response, Hezbollah announced in a series of statements that it targeted gatherings of Israeli soldiers in several settlements, including Al-Manara and Maskaf Am, and in the Lebanese villages of Adaisi, Taibe and Rab al-Thalathin. They also shelled the Zvulun military industries base north of Haifa with a rocket barrage. The Israeli army announced this afternoon that it had detected the launch of 25 rockets towards Nahariya and the Western Galilee. The Israeli army radio previously reported the fall of 2 rockets in the north, where one fell on a factory in the city of Accra and the other on a factory in Kiryat Bialik in the Bay of Haifa. Also, Prime Minister Najib Mikati arrived at the Elysee Palace, where he was received by French President Emmanuel Macron. In Lebanon, the Ministry of Health announced that 2,574 people have been killed and 12,001 others injured since October 8, 2023. In Palestine, in the north of Gaza, in Jabalia, thousands of Palestinians who were trapped for days by an Israeli military offensive and then gathered and searched by the army, asking them to evacuate, fled the north of the enclave. The human toll since the beginning of the war at 7 p.m. Beirut time. The Gaza Ministry of Health reported that 42,792 people have been killed and 100,412 others injured in the enclave since the start of the war with Israel over a year ago. On the diplomatic front, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken stated on Wednesday that the time is right to end the war in Gaza after Israel has, in his view, achieved most of its strategic objectives. Blinken, upon departing Tel Aviv for Saudi Arabia as part of a regional tour, continued by saying that, and I quote, "It's also very important that Israel respond in ways that do not create greater escalation and do not risk spreading the conflict," following Iran's launch of around 200 missiles on October 1st. Finally, a senior Hamas official arrived in Moscow on Wednesday to discuss the cessation of the war with Israel in the Gaza Strip and efforts towards Palestinian unity. Musa Abu Marzouk, a Hamas advisor and negotiator based in Qatar, is scheduled to meet with Russian officials to discuss ways to stop the aggression and war on Gaza and in the region, and Russia's efforts to achieve unity among the various Palestinian factions. This visit comes as the president of the Palestinian Authority, Mahmoud Abbas, is also in Russia, in Kazan, for the BRICS summit. That's it for today's recap. See you tomorrow for another roundup of the situation. Until then, stay connected on our website www.thisisbeirut.com.lb and on our social media platforms.